is some good progress happening at Stoney Field on Charleston's west side, as a recent artificial turf has been laid down on the iconic field. I talked one-on-one with one of the advocates for Stoney Field, Tony Lewis, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook.
Tony E. Lewis, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Pleasure, Mr. Washington. It's always a pleasure gracing your presence, brother.
I'm very happy to hear that. And obviously, we're here at your home turf, Stoney Field.
Yes, sir. Our vision, the idea was challenged me back in 2016.
What is the biggest difference between, obviously, 2016 and right now when you look at Stoney Field?
There was a big difference because I was challenged by three prominent gentlemen, our coaches, Coach Oscar Fordham Sr., Coach James Jameson, and our deceased coach, Mario Drayton, at Burke and Garrett game at Ravenel Field. When Burke and Garrett played over there, they said to me, Louis, you got to do something. I said, no problem, I'll take on the challenge because I know what kind of person I am. I'm not a go along, get along. So that's why I took the challenge seriously, brother. And I was told by one of the board members at that time, Michael Miller, oh, Tony ain't gonna do nothing. I said, you wait till Monday. And not only when Monday came, Mr. Lewis was down in front of the board members, not at the mic, but in front of them and tell them what he had to tell them. He said to them, listen, if my little white brothers and sisters was back here, y'all have been had a major college stadium long time. So I'm not gonna let y'all deprive my little black boys and girls out of the privilege of having a nice stadium to play on the field.
Does this look like a college stadium now?
I was getting there. You can look at the turf, artificial turf on the stadium. And not only that, after I engaged with them, I spoke to them about putting a track around the field so folks can stay fit, trim, safe at the same time. Okay? Inside. They can walk instead of walking out there out in the streets and possibly getting hit by cars or whatever. And they can't go through their routine.
Right. And speaking of the track, let's talk to you about some developing news. As you know, Olympian Raven Saunders was made some big news this week, obviously besides going to Tokyo for the Olympics next week. But the city of Charleston voted to name the track at Stoney Field here after the track star, Raven Saunders. And let me read this from WCBD. It reads this. The city of Charleston on Tuesday voted in favor of naming a new track at Stoney Field after Raven Saunders, a Low Country native and, of course, a two-time Olympian. The shot putter from Burke High School made it big time in 2016 when she was selected to compete in the Team USA in the Rio Olympics. And she will make her second debut, as I mentioned, next week. And she sent a following statement to News 2, says in which she said this quote, "I'm super excited and thankful for this honor. I've always wanted to be forever ingrained in the history of Burke High School and the city of Charleston." Let me ask you, Tony, because obviously you still hear this before anybody else did. You talked to the Charleston County school officials as well as the city of Charleston officials.
Sir.
What do you think? How do you think Raven Saunders' history will match Stoney Field?
Well, it will match because then other little black boys and girls will see that you can do the same thing Miss Raven did and put your name on things by trusting, first of all, God, your academics, do what you need to do in whatever area you're pursuing or whatever. And I tell you this, I had a conversation with Coach LeRon Johnson. And LeRon said, Mr. Lewis, why not name it after Raven Saunders? That's your offer. I said, that's an awesome idea. So I presented to Charleston County, which Erica Taylor, she said, oh no, it's not our property. So I went and spoke to Laurie Yarbrough. Laurie said, let me work on it, Mr. Lewis, coach. Let me put everything together, which she did. She called me one morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Tony, guess what? I said, what? The mayor of your idea. I said, no, let him know that's not my idea. Percent to name it after Raven. It was Coach LeRon Johnson said, why not name it after her? Okay? So I'm not going to take nobody's credit. I don't. I mentioned it to him and thank God now it's a reality. You know? And she called me last week and she said they want to engage with Raven. The mayor and the council want to engage with Raven. So I said, no problem. I got in touch with her agent, John Nambanian, and it was working out. As a matter of fact, he's calling Laurie tomorrow because he just got back from Scotland and back. So he told me he would call Laurie tomorrow and engage with her more about it. But I'm so ecstatic about it because guess what? Raven came from right over here, Burke High School, right over here. So again, I'm so ecstatic and thank God that I had these gentlemen in my life, especially you, because You helped spearhead it because every story I did, if you go back and Quintin's close-up, you see Stoney Field, the track. So, again, we are tired of folks taking credit for something they were not spared. After 61 years, 61 years, look what's going on now. Beautiful setting. The raggy press box gone. The stadium painted. See? So again, it's how you perceive things, how you go after things. And you'll be persistent because I got a phone call last year. I'm not going to call the gentleman's name. And he said, Mr. Lewis, I just want you to know they're putting artificial turf on there. I didn't even know he was going to do it. And he said they're putting the track like you to act. Oh no, he said like you the man. See? So again, very thankful to God first and foremost, yourself, those three gentlemen, LeRon, Chef Pierce, Coach Earl Brown, and the list goes on. Edward Jones, the constituent board when I was there, right. I'm thankful to them too.
Right.
The mayor and the council and Laurie and all of them. I'm very thankful because now it's reality. See? It's reality. You speak things, now it's reality. Not talk about it, but be about it. Look at the actions. See? So I'm very thankful, man.
And you talk about history. How do you perceive Stoney Field's history right now?
Well, I'm looking at it as Burke Stadium and the hope and be that because we may get a detour, a different direction from it because our enrollment at Burke, but we got to fight to keep this school and in this area here, man.
That brings me to my next question, Tony. Obviously, in the last interview I did with you for Quintin's Close-Up, you said, quote, there's not going to be a Burke High School according to the dynamics. That is, then why is Stoney Field here?
Well, again, you got to look at it too, because I was told that possibly Charleston Battery may be using this field. See? So you got to look at all those dynamics, But again, if we don't stand up for something, we'll fall for anything. Okay? So I say again, all the Burke alumni, community, who all here, still around here,
right.
Let's fight to keep this here. Because Burke scholars and students deserve this field. Because everybody else had fields, brand new schools built up, brand new field. Now Burke finally got something, but we all still got to fight for it. And we can't just be talking about it, we got to stand up for it because it's taxpayers' dollars.
Right.
Just as well as anybody else. And our taxpayers' dollars were put here before our white brothers and sisters move in this vicinity. Okay?
What more do you have to fight for when it comes to Stoney Field, and what more do you need to fight for when it comes to Burke High School?
Well, I'm a fight for whatever's needed and necessary for our scholars and students at Burke High School. Because yes, I'm alumni of North Charleston,
right.
But guess what? I was on the constituent board down here in Burke, and I've been an activist for 35 years, 25 years rec coach down in Charleston,
right.
And 14 years on the school board. So I'm fighting for Burke High School, okay? To make sure they get their just due.
What's necessary for Burke High School right now?
Well, we got to make sure we keep our scholars and students up in their academics to make sure the school and the enrollment stay up. I know the dynamics and the the demographics have changing tremendously,
right.
But we still got to fight for what we got. Okay, it don't take an army. Take us a few true soldiers, not sellout soldiers, but true soldiers.
As a matter of fact, in my last interview with you over on the other side of town, you said, quote, our people allowed others to do things on the back of our scholars. Who were those people?
Well, you got a lot of folks, man. You got a lot of folks. You got folks with taking. As a matter of fact, you got a lot of alumni who went to Burke and who looks in these scholars and students and the community faces and selling them out all day long for $1. And it's so sad, very sad, very sad.
And if you were to talk with, obviously, former Charleston County School Board member Michael Miller right now, who you said allegedly opposed this, what would be your message to him one-on-one?
My message is say, actions, brother. Go and look at actions. And he told me, he said, I wasn't going to do nothing. Look and see, thanks to Yahweh. Look and see the actions. Look and see reality. Look and see. See, let me tell you about Yahweh. Yahweh don't put his work in someone who don't feel like going to do his job. Okay? He has vessels out there that he knows who's going to do his job and do it well. And be persistent about it. And proactive about it. Now, it's proactive, persistent production. Look at the production. See, that's what it's about, my brother. Truly, that's what it's about.
As a matter of fact, you said that in the last interview, proactive, persistent, and proactivity. Let me ask you this, Tony. Who are those persistent vessels who can actually keep Burke High School afloat?
Well, we have our legislators, our lawmakers. We have the alumni. We have the Burke community supporters. We all got to come together as one. Don't worry about who's gonna get the credit or whatever. But let's come together and stay and fight. We have to stand up. If we don't stand up, we're gonna lose.
Why do you think that these other board members, and apparently, I don't know if it's true, Michael Miller opposed this? Why do you think they didn't fight for this?
Well, again, they didn't feel, they feel like they was gonna lose. They feel like they didn't have a voice. But I think, like I said, I thank Yahweh for this voice he instilled in Tony Lewis. This strong voice he put in Tony Lewis. You might never have to like Tony Lewis. Yes, you might never have to like Tony Lewis, but you will respect him because you respect the man he is. That's very outspoken. And he's not nobody go along, get along. That's another thing. See, you go along, get along, folks tell you what they want you to do. But when you're not that, they can't control you. Then, hey, they know what they say, well, you better confide with them. Okay? And that's Tony Lewis. And everything I do, that's me. As I said again to you, thank Yahweh. A young lady got a heart from MUSC. Why? She went to ask lawmakers, she asked activist group, pastors, nothing happened. She came to me through her family members and friends. Thank God she has a heart. See, that's a persistency. That's somebody go out there and get it done. Not talk about it, but be about it. And that's always been my word. Don't talk about it, be about it. And I mean talking, I mean putting in actions. Look at actions. Look at actions. Look at that. Look up there at the press box. Look at the stadium. That's actions. That's not so much conversation, because you got to be persistent and stay on something. Not just talk about it and just let it just get cold. And they'll tell you, Mr. Lewis always spoke about Stoney Field and all his board meetings and all. My last meeting before I left, 2 meetings before I left, I had Dr. Postaway, Jeff Baroy, and all the staff. Rick Jarukas from Tecklenburg was somewhere out of town, I think it was, and Laurie and all them in there. Why? Because I told them that's what I wanted them to do. I didn't beg them nothing. I told them that's what I wanted. See, you got to be persistent, man. You got to be forceful. You can't just look for people to give you the pie. They're going to give you the crumbs. And I don't want the crumbs. I want the pie like you give, the whole pie like you give everybody else. And look at the pie. Look at the pie. This is what we're talking about. Look at that field. Look at the college stadium there. Look at the stadium now. Versus that slump that was going on 2016 and longer. See?
What do you think the conversation will be about Stoney Field in the next 10, 20 years?
Well, I hope it be about, hey, it was talked about, it was not talked about, it was put into actions. Because 61 years is a long time. The slump was going on over here. And these scholars and students of Burke High School, the alumni, the community of Burke, and the supporters were deprived of an opportunity which is here today in 2021.
Right.
Okay?
And you go back to 2016, do you think, when this situation kept persisting longer than it should have in your mind, do you think this field actually sunk a little bit deeper?
Oh yeah, it did sunk. Okay. But they bowled it up, because I came by constantly and saw piles and piles of dirt, like 6 to 8 foot high, and they put a drainage in it. So now you have to ride, but it's slopping up now. And it's supposed to be open in August, ladies and gentlemen. So please look for it. Okay? Please.
Tony E. Lewis, thank you so much for your time. And again,
thank you. Always a pleasure being your president.
And thank you for coming back on Quintin.
Yes, sir. Thank you.